It's a given that teachers want to inspire learning and the quest for knowledge, and of course the love of music. But I believe my students grow with the knowledge that they are part of something greater than themselves, part of an interdependent group, but composed of individuals with something unique and special to contribute. I teach them from where they are right now. I drop all preconceived notions of where I should begin and determine their prior knowledge, each student coming in with their own perspective and frame of reference, their own assets and restrictions. Many of these students feel their individuality and experiences are a hindrance, their original language, their heritage, their unique sound, range, body type. I show them that these can be pluses for them and pluses for the group as musicians. I have several ensembles that number at least up to 75, but I try to teach everyone also in smaller settings, private lessons or small groups, to personalize their instruction and let them know that I really see them and realize their contribution and worth. We will all work together, the students and I, to overcome obstacles and combine our different gifts into a wonderful ensemble. And I believe in what I'm teaching and have never questioned that my students would want or be able to embrace my wishes. I obviously believe in them as well. I often mentor other teachers as they struggle to teach classical repertoire and technique or perform varied styles and languages from early music to contemporary or jazz repertoire. Whatever style of music my students pursue, I believe that basic technique and theory will empower their pursuit and make them self-sufficient as they move on. These days, I teach middle-class students who are generally already interested in music. It's extremely rewarding to see them blossom as young musicians and often go on to careers in the field. However, my most rewarding moments probably came during my first 16 years of teaching in an inner-city high school. Most of my students had limited education and were non-English speakers, predominantly Haitian American immigrants. They were also able to start something with me from scratch without the restraints of all they were told they didn't know and succeed. The students helped each other, and I used whatever communication skills I had at my disposal, including a little rusty French, to teach class piano. The students excelled, and for many, practicing piano with me after school or during lunch became a refuge from the outside world. My favorite moment involved my student Peanut, who had some learning issues from a birth defect, but who had learned to play the piano well and had also found some welcome social acceptance in the class. His family saw him perform Mozart in a community concert and were overwhelmed at his achievement. His smaller siblings cheered him on, and I think for the first time he was proud of himself. I still remember his mother's face. In today's world, there are obstacles all around, especially as education relates to the economic and political climate. The arts seem to always be at the top of things to cut, and of course teachers in schools often seem to be at the bottom of the priority list. I don't know what the answer to this is, but I hope that by teachers influencing a group of people year after year and demonstrating the importance of music in our lives, that we change minds and culture and that the next generation feels a little bit differently. The biggest obstacles that I've found is trying to help students grow who are enduring outside influences of violence, non-supportive parents, poverty, or problems at home. As a teacher, you try to provide a safe, supportive environment where the students can be themselves, safe and comfortable to learn and express themselves, and hopefully provide some of the support missing from the outside world. In this ever-changing society, we're constantly having to defend our jobs and our programs. There's no real funding for new music, instruments, or activities, so we do constant fundraising to try to keep everything going that we can. Students have little money these days for outside experiences, and I want to try to provide the type of program that I wish I had had when I was younger. We rehearse after school, weekends, work with other schools and community organizations, utilize local and state organizations and activities. Students stay after school to work on solo and small group repertoire as well. I really feel that if they are willing to initiate a project and work on it, I have to be willing to assist them as much as possible. Music changed my life and in some ways saved it. I want music to be there for them as well. I see many of my students go on to major in music, volunteer with musical groups in the community, work with other musicians, but my real goal is for music to remain an important part of their lives, whether they be teaching their own children to play the piano, singing in their choir or community group, filling themselves with air, and having the mental and physical release of singing. to learn how to work with and care about others. I'm lucky enough to be in contact with a lot of my former students who have become sensitive, caring adults who are integral parts of their communities and who participate or support the arts. They will carry my work on, and memories of our experiences will continue the rest of their lives. It makes me very happy to think that I'm lucky enough to have been some small part of that.